Now, before we go into start creating add user method inside of the user class, one thing I've actually done by mistake, I've attached actually sticky form fields for the password, which we have to remove, and for the confirm passwords. These should always contain no value if once this form has been submitted. If there are any errors, then well, you're gonna have to retype it, but that's the way it's done basically. You shouldn't be applying sticky form fields to the password fields. So we need to remove it from the password input and confirm password. Okay, now if we scroll up, obviously we have our add user method. So if we open our user class, scroll down to the bottom, which is basically after the first method because we only have one method at the moment. And let's create a few new lines. We're going to create a new function, new method rather, called add user. So we start with public function add user, and this specific method will be taking two parameters. One will be params, we'll assign null by default, and password, to which we also assign null by default. So first of all, we are checking if isn't empty params and isn't empty password. So both of them have to have values. Now this db prepare insert params. Now we haven't got this method inside of our database class, so let's do it straight away. If we open our dbase class, scroll right to the bottom again, and after our last id method, we create a few new lines, and we start with a new statement, public function prepare insert, and we pass just one parameter, which is array, again null by default. Now we check if is an empty array for each array as key equals value. Okay, this underscore insert keys equals key, and this underscore insert values equals this escape value. So what we're doing here, we are basically putting the key into insert keys array and putting the value escaped by our escape method into insert values array, which later on will be processed basically by another statement. But let's just finish with this method for now here. So because this method is basically finished now. So if we go back to our user.php file, and after our db insert prepare insert statement, if we type if this db insert, and we pass in this table, which is the name of the table users. As you may remember, if I scroll up, we have private property table, which basically stores the name of the client's table. Okay, so if this insert, in other words, if the statement has been successful and we've added record to the database, then we want to send email. Okay, so we're going to send email, object email, which we haven't got yet. This is our new class, new email, then semicolon, object email. We're going to create process method, and we will be passing two parameters. First will be the case, and the second will be array. We do it straight away, and then we're going to work on these methods. We're going to pass array with the index email, and the value will be params email. Then we'll have first name params first name, Then we have last name, params last name. Then we have password, params password. So actually, it's not going to be params password. We need the password before it's been hashed. So obviously the second parameter is just a clear password, which we can read. So we're going to pass this one in. Then we have hash, params hash. All these are taken basically from the form, and obviously the hash has been created inside of the login. As you may remember, we've added the index hash, which has been generated here. It's been added to the database, and now we also need to pass it to our email in order to send the activation link. So this is what's going to happen with our email class and process method. Then we return true if all this is fine. And obviously after our if insert, if it wasn't in other case, if it wasn't successful, our insert method, then obviously we want to return false, as well as we want to return false if one of these two parameters is empty. So return false as well. Okay, so now let's have a look at this insert statement, and that's what we're going to be working on in the next video.